The following is an exclusive presentation of Jessup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
And good morning to you. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jessup. Here we are. Bob, what day of the week is this? You waking up to say?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay. Wednesday morning. It is the 11th day of March. 11th day of March. World famous Butch and Bob Show here on this Wednesday morning, 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. And it's now time for the world famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, located on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jessup, and by Nips Car Wash, located on Highway 301 South here in Jessup. And morning, Bob. Late night at the office last night, right?
Yeah, late night.
Ball game, Wayne County varsity baseball game went late, huh?
Wasn't good.
Wasn't good. Not only did it go late, we took a beating, huh?
Unfortunately.
Well, those nights happen, right? Well, it's Wednesdays with Werkheiser. State Representative Bill Werkheiser is on the phone with us live from Atlanta. Take it away, Bob.
Again, we got Bill Werkheiser on the phone. Bill, again, the big story. Of course, the House pushed back on the governor's spending cuts, the teacher pay raise. The House says $1,000, not $2,000, but Blake says that's still up in the air because the Senate hasn't seen the budget. And what's the latest? What's going on?
So the House did pass the budget for the 21 fiscal year, and Terry England, who is the appropriations chair in the House, said it was the and he's been through the up and downs, but he said this is probably the biggest changes. Not probably, it's the most that they have ever changed a governor's recommendations. And there's always changes, but I'm very proud of it. I think we did a good job. I think it was the best compromise we could come up with. I don't think anybody is saying the teachers don't deserve all of the $5,000 that Kemp had promised, but we just need to do it in steps because we're just having to weigh it against so many needed areas. We got defects workers making $36,000. Got juvenile justice correctional officers making $26,000, and with a 90% turnover. That means all we're doing is train them, and in a few weeks they're leaving. So instead of giving the teachers all of it, we did them $1,000. We actually gave a lot of areas 4% raises. We actually gave bus drivers and cafeteria workers a 5% raise. So we were looking at high turnover areas and kind of spread that around. But remember too that the teachers, if you take last year and this year, the $4,000, that is a $671 million budget item, and it's an 11.7% raise. So we feel like we're trying to help him out, but yet trying to solve long-term budget problems when it comes to salaries.
As you mentioned, the House did this, so now it goes to the Senate. So how do you see your proposal being received at the Senate?
Historically, they will make changes, but I don't think usually their changes are much less than the ones we make. Usually there's more consistency between the Senate and the House than how it starts. And I think Blake made a comment. Part of that is because, it was very thought out. It's like, how do you take away from a defects worker or a correctional officer? I just don't see very much waste or any. So it's going to be hard. Just like us, the decisions are going to be really, really tough to make very many changes because I feel like we're very careful in the priorities.
Like you said, what the House did is they looked at it and said, look, A lot of people need a pay raise, and the chamber leaders had a 2% pay raise for state employees, an additional 2 to 5% in several areas with low salaries have made it difficult to keep staffers. As you mentioned, from food safety inspectors to prison guards to mental health workers. And House Speaker David Ralston said he's proud the House budget maintains critical services and rewards the hard work of our public employees in the state. And the teachers will get a $1,000 pay raise under the House plan rather than the $2,000 proposed. And as you mentioned, Terry England, House Appropriations Chairman, says we appreciate the job the teachers do. We understand it's going to be disappointment to some. But again, they stated that the pay raise for the teachers' proposal was about $350 billion. So they're just taking half of that and put it kind of spread it around to the other people not making any money is what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So I felt like we were very careful. And some of the other things that we felt were wise, like we pushed back on cutting accountability courts. We put $1.5 million back in for those because those are redirecting people away from our prisons, which are more costly, and it's got a 75% success rate. If somebody goes through accountability courts, so like a drug court or a veterans court, they have a 75% chance that they will not recidivate, and that's much higher than someone who's paroled out. So, or it's 0% if they're can't get out of prison.
Again, just joining us, Bill Werkheiser on the phone with us Wednesdays with Werkheiser. So, what all bills are on the floor that we need to be aware of? Besides the budget, the budget takes the headlines, but there's other activities taking place. People trying to pass bills, crossover day quickly approaching. So, what do we need to be aware of that in that regard?
Once again, the list is long, but it's not. Most of them are not headline grabbing. Having to do with construction codes. Trying to look at my list here. None of them are worth talking about.
So nothing stands out. I got you. So what else do we need to know about it? What else is taking place besides the,
we got our schedule yesterday, and we're going to be out April 2nd, which is what I kind of guessed. And then I was telling Butch that the Counsel at Our Page program, which I really hate because that's a great experience for our students because of coronavirus. So hope that gets started back.
So no more pages there, huh, Representative Werkheiser? A lot of text messaging will go on?
I've had a pretty good bit. I've had about 20 students come up. And it's just great experience for the students.
Well, hopefully it's just for the last few weeks of this session, and by the time next year comes in January, everything will be back to normal. Somebody has texted in, Bill. Here's the question that somebody texted into us this morning. You ready? Here's the question.
I'm ready.
Okay, if state revenue is an issue now and the next 12 months, why pass a bill to cut state income tax? That's our revenue. Doesn't make sense. How do you answer that, and is that true?
Well, okay. And I can't believe that's something we should have talked about. So, yes, the state cut the overall. I'm sorry, I'm trying to transfer rooms here. So the state took the overall income tax down to 5.375. It was the second half of the promise that the House made back in 2018. But here's some other things we did, and the reason we actually took it down even lower than the 5.75 that we thought we'd do. We decided to go to a flat rate for everyone because, and if you're not conservative leaning, you're not going to agree with this, but we believe as conservatives that we should cut taxes and that people should be able to spend their money, not the government. So we still came up with a balanced budget. It will put more money in in people's pockets no matter what income level. So everybody, from top to bottom, gets a increase, gets more money in their pocket. And the lower you make, the higher that percentage is.
Well,
Hey,
the adage
I'm sorry.
is, excuse me, Bill,
good.
the adage is
Come
the
in.
fact that if more people,
Okay.
if people get more money in their pocket, they'll spend more money, which increases tax revenue when it comes to sales tax, property tax, things of that sort, if they're able to buy stuff. That's what tax decreases are used for, not only to help people out by not paying some of these taxes, but also to stimulate the economy, as we saw back when Reagan did during the 80s. If you stimulate the economy
Exactly.
with less taxes, then actually you end up bringing in more. But is there a point there where you can cut it too low, where it's not going to help the economy that much? What do y'all feel about where y'all put it at the 5%?
I don't know. It's a rate, and I'm sorry. We're gonna have to continue this because I gotta go.
Oh, you got to
I'm
go?
already late.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But let's talk about it next week.
Okay, we'll talk about it next week. Get to your
right.
work there, Representative Werkheiser. We appreciate you calling in, okay? Take care.
All right, thanks.
All right. That's how those guys are when they call in, with Mondays with Meeks and Tuesdays with Tillery and Wednesdays with Werkheiser. Sometimes, Bob, when we're talking to them, they just got to go. They got somebody coming in needing their opinion on something, or they got to go take a vote, or whatever the case may be. But we appreciate Representative Bill Werkheiser calling in this morning and updating on this, and he'll have some more information about that, the reasoning for the tax cut next week. I don't know about you, Bob, but I always like tax cuts. But Wednesdays with Werkheiser, Representative Bill Werkheiser, and I've had people say, well, when are y'all going to have U.S. Senator Kelly Loeffler on? She was supposed to be on twice, and other things came up that changed her schedule. She's still scheduled to be on 2 weeks from tomorrow on the 27th of March, and hopefully she can keep that date and be on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show at that time. I mean, I just don't understand why you would cancel the Butch and Bob Show to be on Fox and Friends in the morning. That's beyond my comprehension.
I think she was with the president all day. That was the day they went to see
with the president.
They went to see the tornado damage in Nashville. She was, footage I saw, she was with the president most of that day. So,
now someone was telling us, well, she canceled y'all because we saw her on Fox and Friends this morning. Well, I don't know if that was right or they're just kidding around, but she was probably doing the tornado damage, looking around with Trump.
You think Air Force One would have good cell service?
Yeah, you think they'd have good cell service up there? I mean, it'd be great.
Call from the plane.
Yeah,
So.
we never have gotten a call from Air Force One. I mean, I know that Representative Jack Kingston flew on it a few times when he was in there all those years, but we never have. I mean, we think we would, eventually. I mean, sheesh. I mean, good cell service up there in Air Force One. They could just call and. You could have Kelly Loeffler sitting there, and they just hand the phone over to Trump, and we could talk to him a little bit, and just have a good old time. Yeah. But maybe one day, Bob. Maybe one day. Oh, maybe one day. 18 minutes after 8 o'clock, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jessup. World famous Butch and Bob Show this morning, on this Wednesday morning. It is the 11th day of March, and Bob, just a very late game last night. I know that you and Jonathan are very sleepy this morning because the game, what time did that thing finally get over?
I don't even know. Yeah,
it was a varsity baseball game last night up at Richmond Hill, but there was a lot of runs scored, and so it just went on forever, a lot of pitching changes. And so when that happens, it goes late. And so Bob, the trooper he is here this morning. But I'm sure he'll go and get a much-needed, hopefully, nap in just a little bit and rest up a little bit after last night's long night. Now, the next game for Wayne County varsity baseball is tomorrow. Is that correct?
Right. Same team comes over to play us. Richmond Hill will be back at Howard Bow. They got a good baseball team.
Apparently. Apparently.
They always got a good baseball over there. But, we got two tough games Thursday and Friday, and the region schedule kicks in on Monday. So
okay. Thursday, tomorrow is Richmond Hill here.
Right.
And then
Friday's here home against Glen Academy. Okay.
And
then the region schedule begins Monday.
Okay. And once again, folks, how the region schedule works, the four teams in the region, we play each team 3 times in each week. So next week it'll be the same team on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the following week it'll be the next team in the region, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then next week and the next week. And so it kind of sets you up for the way that state playoffs will be when you're playing the same team 3 times in a row.
It's 2 out of 3. So
Yeah.
they just set up like the state tournament.
Do they do it 2 out of 3, or do they play all the way to Friday? Do they play all
They
3
play
games?
all 3
They play all 3 games. Yeah, but you can win the series.
The key is to win the series.
Win the series, right? Okay. Yeah. Somebody just texted in. Need to get Trump on the Butch and Bob show. Yeah. We'll work on that. Okay. We'll work on that. We'll get to our sources, and they got influence up there in the White House, and we'll see if we can get President Trump on the Butch and Bob show.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure once they set the presidential race, he'll be calling in. So.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Yeah, we've got some influence up there in the White House. We just don't know if we have that much influence. I'm sure the White House gets, calls, text messages, emails, everything, every single day from different media out there, always trying to get a piece of time with the president, which no matter which president it is, they get tons of requests from the media to speak. But he hasn't been on the world-famous Butch and Bob show yet, so, he could set a precedent and be the first president on the world-famous Butch and Bob show. I mean, we've had U.S. senators, we've had governors, we've had the Chief Justice of the State Supreme Court on here, but we haven't had the president yet. Maybe we can work on that, Bob. Because we are a friendly show. We're not one of those shows that are going to try to put anybody on the spot. We try to, talk to them and let them present their case and ask questions to them and not try to put them on the spot. But so the Wayne County varsity baseball team back in action tomorrow against Richmond Hill, and then Friday against Glen Academy, and both of them here, right? Both here. And then what's going on with the other spring sports right now?
We just ran down a pile.
I know you did, but that was several minutes ago, Bob. And, if you just... We did have somebody text in. While you're looking that up, Bob...
I don't have all those schedules in front of me.
You don't have the schedule. You've already taken them away. All right. Well, it says here, I'm not sure if Jonathan gave you this message, but we can read it again, just in case. It says, can Bob announce, but I'll do it because the screen's right in front of me, so I'll announce it, that the Wayne County High School tennis team, is having a car wash fundraiser this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Free car washes, but donations are accepted and greatly appreciated. It will be held at the old quality pre-owned car lot on First Street, right there at Pine Street in Jessup. So look for the Wayne County High School tennis team from 9 to 1 this Saturday for a free car wash, but donations will be accepted. This is a fundraiser for the Wayne County High School tennis team this Saturday at the old quality pre-owned car lot right there on the left-hand side there if you're heading out of town right before you get to Pine Street where the old Ford dealership used to be. So, just let folks know.
Do want to remind people about the blood drive today at Wayne Memorial Hospital. Community blood drive, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So, again, get a chance to give the gift of life pound of blood. It would be deeply appreciated. A very important blood drive today at the hospital from 11 to 4.
Okay. Are you taking any precautions, Bob, to not catch the flu or cold from anybody? Or are you just doing your normal thing?
Do my normal thing.
Huh? Yeah. Well, I know that I'm washing my hands more. I'm sanitizing. I got a bottle of sanitizer in my truck, so when I get out pumping gas or going out into places, I go back in there and immediately, sanitize my hands and wash my hands several times here at the station during the day. And I don't touch doorknobs. I either use I basically just reach up there with my pocket in my pants and turn it, and things of that sort, which is something I've normally done anyway, especially coming out of bathrooms. But it's like with any other flu. We've seen the flu come through Wayne County many times through the years, where, especially in the schools where the kids get them, and there'll be hundreds of students out during the course of a week or two or three because of the flu. And so, basically every flu kind of spreads the same way. You get droplets from sneezing or touching or whatever, and then other people touch it, and then so just be careful. Hold on a second. Okay. So just be careful. Just watch what you're doing and be diligent. Somebody just asked Bob, can't even remember what time the game got over last night. That's y'all order to ask him to recap reading sports. Are you sure you did sports this morning, Bob? Are you positive you did it?
I did it. I said, off the top of my head, I know the golf team won yesterday. I know the soccer teams won yesterday.
Yeah.
I know the tennis teams got beat.
Yeah. No, we just had somebody come in there. It's a client getting ready to produce an ad. Jonathan's over there with him right now in the production room. The client's getting ready to produce an ad for their business.
I haven't been able to see the golf team yet. I'm looking forward to seeing those kids. Got some young, talented golfers on that golf team. Then they're having a good season. Soccer teams are having a pretty good season as well. They play again at home against South Effingham on Friday. So they beat Statesboro yesterday, which was good to see. So their region schedule is already underway in soccer.
Okay. Yeah. The region schedule's already on the way. Already going in soccer?
Yeah, we played Statesboro last night and beat them.
Good.
The boys and the girls.
Boys and girls beat Statesboro in the first round of region playoff action, you said?
No playoff action, just region schedule.
Oh, just region schedule. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say playoff. I had playoff on my mind. But in the region schedule, so they've started with that. That's a good way to start off the region. 1-0. Somebody just text in. Always can text in questions and comments to us at 912-427-3711. Our main business line is text enabled. Somebody text in. The golf team is off to a 4-0 start, beating Pierce County for its first time in 15 years. I didn't know Pierce County had that great of a golf team down there. Apparently they do. This is the first time that because we've had some great golfers come through here.
I don't know if that's true.
You don't know if that's true?
I believe Sean Reddish and them beat them.
Okay.
I think Wayne County's beaten them in the last 15 years.
You just don't know.
I don't think.
All right.
I question that.
Okay, somebody said, could you announce that the Arthur Williams Middle School tennis team starts the first day of playoffs today in Blackshear at 4 o'clock? All right, we just did. Okay, the Arthur Williams Middle School tennis team starts the first day of playoffs today in Blackshear at 4 o'clock. So go Arthur Williams Middle School. Beat whoever you're playing down there. If it's a middle school, they might have several names, just like we do here. So beat that middle school down there. It's good to see these spring sports going like this. You know, a lot of interest in tennis. You know, a lot of times when I'm leaving the radio station in the afternoons, there'll be a bunch of cars out there at the tennis courts. They're having matches out there, and you see them practice all the time. But it seems like lately I've seen, 2 or 3 days in the last week or two. Lots of cars out there watching the tennis matches, and a lot of yellow buses out there from different teams.
The big mystery yesterday is where the Richmond Hill tennis courts go, because they used to be right adjacent to the baseball courts, but they got nothing but parking there now. So you just park right up to the ball field. But I don't know where the tennis courts went.
So they built the tennis court somewhere else?
I guess. They
weren't
there. They weren't there.
They're
gone from where they were.
Joe, we may have made a mistake. We paved over the tennis courts. You think they'll notice that? Draw some lines on the asphalt. Put up a net.
I think they got tired of baseballs flying into the tennis courts, so I think they decided to move the tennis courts. So.
Yeah, you're sitting there trying to serve and play, and you're also got one eye looking out for a baseball coming over the fence.
Well, that's what I noticed yesterday. Richmond Hill, they got a lot more parking around the baseball field than they had in years past because the tennis courts are no longer there. So
yeah, they're building somewhere else around there. I'm sure. They wouldn't have paved over without being built somewhere else.
Somebody said they used the state park for tennis. I don't know.
The state park?
That's what they said yesterday. One of the
okay.
ladies. So I asked where the tennis court was. They said they play at the state park now. So
he says right now somebody just texted in apparently knows a little bit about Richmond Hill. Says they're playing at the rec department for now.
There you go.
There you go. They're playing at the rec department for now. So now, I know that was worrying all of us, Bob, where Richmond Hill was playing their tennis matches.
I just wonder where the tennis courts disappeared to.
Where'd they go? They were right there last year.
I just noticed.
Yep. They're playing at the rec department for now, I guess, until they build them some new courts. And when we say that we're waiting in Washington, D.C. for our new Wayne County High School track that'll be built right across the street there from the high school there, the practice. What are we waiting on? A permit for
it's wetlands
permit.
Yeah.
Well, luckily where they're building it, it's not down toward where it dips. It's up high next to the school.
No, it's down there.
I thought that the coach said the other day when he was in here, no, they changed it from down there toward the to the low end up toward the high end. It'll be right across the street. Didn't he say that the other day when he was here? I know all originally it was supposed to be down there way toward the end where toward where it slopes down. But I thought he said they changed it to move it up the hill.
Oh, I know they got a mess. What I hear.
A mess?
A mess.
Well, if they're building it up the hill, that's not wet there. Have you ever been out there during football season when they're playing practicing football? There's dust flying everywhere.
The permit must be walking from Washington, D.C. to get here. So.
Well, just the way it is, Bob.
I have to get the superintendent here. He's got all the details. Talked to him yesterday. So it's going to be a very expensive project before it's all said and done.
Bob, someone just texted in when you said about Sean Reddish and the tennis team and stuff like that. It says, Bob is sleepy. Sean Reddish played in the 90s, which, was over 20-something years ago, Bob. So we're talking about 15 years. Bob's never been good at math. And so, just overlook that. When he says 15 years, he didn't realize that'd be 2005. But Reddish played in the 90s.
I still question whether we beat.
We haven't.
I don't believe we.
Well, maybe this is a tennis person and they know, Bob.
Yeah, we're talking golf.
I mean, not golf, tennis, golf. Maybe we're talking about golf. I'm sorry. I get my sports mixed up sometimes. We're talking about golf. So someone texted in the fact that the Wayne County High School varsity golf team, this is the first year that we've beaten Pierce County in 15 years. And Bob said, well, maybe we probably have in the last 15 years because of Sean Reddish playing, but Sean Reddish played in the 90s, so that's over 20 years ago. And so, but Bob still
we had some good golfers in the past. The Felton is there.
I know.
We've had some good golfers.
We've had some great golfers every single year.
I just question whether we have.
It's been 15 years. Do we play Pierce County every year in golf?
I'm sure we do.
Yeah. Well, they're right across the river there.
But I'll check with the Feltons. I'll check with the Davidsons. I mean, we've had a lot of good golfers.
You'll get the scoop.
We've had a lot of good golfers in Wayne County come through the years.
We have had a lot of good golfers, and that's the reason why I said I was surprised.
I have a hard time.
I know. So do I have a hard time. But
you said Glen Academy with Davis Love down there coaching them all day long. I might go along with that. But Pierce
Didn't
County,
we beat Glen Academy earlier this year in golf?
Yeah, we beat them.
Yeah. So we've beaten Pierce and we've beaten Glen Academy in golf this year.
I said they're
so we got some good young golfers out there, don't we?
They got a talented golf team this year.
Yeah.
I just question not beating Pierce in 15 years. So maybe it's true.
It could be. You know how time flies, Bob. All right.
That's sure.
Well, Bob, go get you some much-needed rest, okay? Have a good day. The world-famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Nips Car Wash, located on Highway 301 South, just past McDonald's there on the left-hand side, and by Murphy Builder Supply, where the builders buy, located on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jessup, right down from the Big Red Caboose.
The world famous Butch and Bob Show.